Subscribers on the rise. Let's hit that throttle, sharing love. Every like is a powerful coast to coast. Spreading the hype at Ryde channel. We're igniting love. It's all the Ryde channel. Come join the crew. Rev it up, share the love. Making dreams come true. Auto news, auto comfort. We're taking it far. Like news, like comfort. No limit to who we are. Bringing engines, bringing up right, here we go. Right channel, where the passion starts to flow. Auto news, auto comfort, we're in the know. Right news, right comfort, let the time show. Subscribers on the rise, let's hit that throttle, sharing love. Every like is a powerful coast to coast. Spreading the hype at Ryde channel, we're igniting love. It's all the Ryde channel, come join the crew. True, auto news, auto comfort. We're taking it far. Like news, like comfort. No limit to who we are. Bringing engines, burning up, here we go. Right channel, where the passion starts to flow. Auto news, auto comfort, we're in the know. Right news, right comfort, let the time show. Subscribers on the rise, let's hit that throttle, sharing love. Every
Hello, guys. Yes, you're once again welcome to the Ryde channel. You know, on the Ryde channel, it's all about cars and motorcycles, and yes, it's always a good time when we can come to you with auto information. Okay, yes, we didn't get off to a good start. Yes, but once we are here, it's good. Yeah. So today we are talking. I'm not going to waste any time because we've wasted enough time. But there's stuff to talk about. Yes, Salam. Once again, you are welcome to the Ryde channel. Yeah, welcome to the Ryde channel. Yes. Yeah, welcome to the Ryde channel. Salam.
Thank you very much.
Yes. So a lot has been going on today, and even the weeks before. Lots of things have been happening, and yes, like I said, Ryde channel, we're becoming a big team. Yes, and a lot of things have been happening. So yes, some auto events took place. Yes, and you were there. Salom, you were there.
Yeah, I was there.
Yes, with Aram, and you had a good time. Yes, that was the launch of the VW Virtus. Yeah. So if you can tell us a little bit about it. So yes, so Salom and other Ryde team members were at the launch of the VW Virtus, and they wrote a story, so you can read it from ridechannel.com.
Yeah.
Okay, so the VW Virtus is an entry level compact sedan.
Exactly.
Yeah, so you can read all about it. But what did you think about the event?
Oh, okay. So according to them, it was more or less like a pre-launch. So they were just trying to let us see what is going to come very soon.
Okay.
And if you ask me about the car, personally, I think it's a very cool car.
Okay.
It looks very good. I mean, what sold it for me is the price.
Okay.
I mean, if they are going to sell it for that price, my God, it's a very good. And the things that the car comes with, I mean, the features you get, the comfort, they were all about the wireless charging and the space in the car, which is very true. I mean, I saw it firsthand. You have so much space in the cabin. You have so much space for the kids. You have so much space. It's almost going above a compact sedan.
Okay.
But then they managed to put it there with all the space.
Okay.
So it's a very good car.
Awesome. So which cars? Which size of which cars models can you compare it to?
Okay, so according to them, is challenging the Toyota Corolla.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Corolla.
Yeah.
I thought it was in the segment of the Yaris.
No.
Wow.
The price is in the segment of the Yaris. So
But the size is Corolla size.
This is the interesting thing. So, they put a hot to the Polo, okay, and the Polo would have competed with the Yaris.
Yes.
So at a point they were actually referring it to as the VW Polo Virtus.
Yes.
You get it, but they were trying to mix the Polo and the Passat.
Okay.
Because the Passat in their offerings is the one with the most space. Like that car is seriously spacious. Okay, so they're trying to merge the two, and that's how you got the Virtus.
Awesome.
So it is actually competing or going against the Corollas, the Ceratos, and the Elantras, and all those cars in that segment.
Okay.
And I think it's off to a good start. Yeah, I mean the price. For me, the price alone.
Price
my
alone.
God, it's
What
really
price
good.
were they calling?
It was around $24,000.
$24,000.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Yeah, that's.
So we're hoping that the dollar will come down.
Yeah,
by
for
the time
that market, for that segment and that price, very competitive.
very,
And
very
it's being
competitive.
assembled in Ghana.
in Ghana, yes.
Awesome.
Yes,
I
and-
mean, when I hear assembled in Ghana, it's good for me.
And
It's
you know,
music to my ears.
For them, it is made in Ghana by Ghanaians for Ghanaians. That's one thing they keep saying over and over.
That's
and over.
that's a term that I've heard some other people also use.
Yes.
There's some people used to say or see that for the Navara. You know, the Navara is assembled in
Ghana.
No, it's assembled in Ghana, but
Yes.
it is made in South Africa. It's actually manufactured
South
in South
Africa.
Africa. So they say made in Africa by Africans for Africa. Made in
that's what they took it
Africa
from.
by Africans for Africans.
Yeah. I think that's what they took it from.
Yeah. And talking about Navara, some of you team members who also had the opportunity to go to South Africa,
exactly.
yes, to participate in a 1 day event. Okay, a 1 day event, which is the Spirit of Africa Challenge, and you came back with a nice story and some great pictures and videos that I wish I was there. Also Spirit of Africa Challenge, man. Yes, it's an off-road, essentially an off-road event, and these guys in South Africa, they've created like it's like a resort.
Okay.
And they've created several
Like challenges.
So
to
okay,
speak.
so they have different segments. They have vast land,
Wow.
and they've created so the whole concept is that when you come, you camp.
Okay.
So there are tents there.
Wow.
So when you come, you camp. Then early morning, you go out. You go out. They assign you to vehicles, and you go out. So there is a first event, second event. Some are slalom, off-road, high speed. Some are
Really?
Rock crawling. So you go through canyons and waterfalls and all those things. Some are maneuverability challenges. So you go moderate speed. But there are some flags, and you're not supposed to touch them. You know,
Wow.
if you speed too much, it will go against you. If you
too slow,
it will go against you. If you any flag that you touch, also it will go against you. So you can read that also from www.ridechannel.com. Now let me take an opportunity to talk to you about the ridechannel.com or ridechannel.com. Okay, that is our website. Okay, so we try to put auto stories, articles, very interesting over there. So if you are not familiar with it, this should be your homepage. Anytime you open your browser, it should open so that you get the latest. Yes. You can also sign up to our newsletter so that anytime we post stories, you're going to get an email, and you see very interesting stories. We have Kia taking on the big three. It talks about the yet to be released Kia Tasman awesome pickup truck. And pickup trucks is hot in Ghana. So yes, if you are not playing in the pickup space, Charlie, you are missing something. Yeah. I have this interesting story that I wrote about Okada rider versus motorcyclist. Very interesting. Yes, I mean, for somebody that ride like me, I don't classify Okada riders as motorcyclists. They are not.
I don't. Yes. They're in a league of their own.
So if you really want to find out why I am of this opinion, just go and read the story. Just go and read the story. Very interesting story. Yes. Yes. You can also send us a WhatsApp. You can contribute to the discussion that we are having in the studio. Yes. I didn't even select the page, so people didn't get to see all the things I was demonstrating. Yes, very interesting stuff. Yes, so let me go back and show you Ryde channel. Yes, so this Ryde channel. Yes, this is the story of the Volkswagen Virtus. This is Spirit of Africa Challenge. Yes, awesome. Yeah. www.rydechannel.com www.rydechannel.com. Now this show is very interactive, so wherever you are, number one, make sure you are subscribed to the Ryde channel, you are subscribed to RPMGH, and we are also on all social media platforms. Today we couldn't go live on Facebook, but and TikTok, but I'm going to get the permission sorted, and I'm sure next week we're going to be live on all our platforms. But we are going to have excerpts of this show and other events also on our platform, so please make sure you subscribe and follow us, turn your notifications on so that you can get all the sweet things that we are bringing to you. Okay, all right. Yes, another thing that happened, this one was today. A few months ago, or a month ago, we lost our brother Papa Lee. And we had a tribute show right here on this show, and today there's a big event taking place. I was there earlier. I had to come back to the studio so that I could be with you. And yes, the event is Bikers Sunday. Now, Bikers Sunday is an event that was started by Papa Lee himself. Okay, it was started by Papa Lee himself, and yes. So those are the pictures. It's a bikers event, so motorcyclists from different places in Ghana and even beyond. We have events in the past where people came from Togo, Nigeria, and stuff like that, and they come together and just chill. Okay, so today is happening at the Accra Parks and Gardens. Okay. On the Switchback Road, Nehru Road, opposite the DVLA office. Yes. There's an awesome crowd there. Awesome motorcycles, friends and well-wishers of Papa Lee are there, vendors are also there, all manner of food and drinks are there. You can see the motorcycles. The children are not left out. There are actually bouncy castles and other things that children can also enjoy. All right, and it's an awesome show. It's still taking place, so the night is not done yet. So you can pass through Biker Sunday meeting 14. That is the name. Okay, so you see some of my boys. Yes, Daniel, Benasari and co. That's Papa Lee's brother over there on his motorcycle. Yes, awesome crowd. People that I've not seen in a long time. They all showed up there. It's a nice. Yes, we have a video that we made also for you, and we'll put it up on the Ryde channel. So make sure you are subscribed and your notifications are fully turned on. So that you can see all the videos that we have for you. Yes, let's just finish this particular video that's playing, so you can see some of the motorcycles there. We have African twins. Charlie, the Harley guys, them come like 20. Wow, 20 motorcycle Harleys, big ones. Harley Davidson, some with sound system and subwoofers and everything on the motor. Masa, my friend Eric brought some Harley and me and come here. Yes, Peter too is there with his Harley. Yes, EJ too is there with his Fat Bob. Yeah, that's my friend EJ Fat Bob. Very, very sweet motorcycle, and the sound, I had a video that I'm going to be sharing with you. And please, when you see the video, don't laugh and don't make funny comments, because the motorcycles were so loud. Okay, and unfortunately, I totally forgot. I actually have earplugs. I actually have earplugs that sometimes when I'm riding I wear, and it's in my camera bag. But I have totally forgotten that Charlie bikes are coming and they're going to be making noise. So I didn't take my earplug. So I had to go and take tissue and put them in my ear.
Because they're so loud.
Those bikes are so loud. But it was a great time I spent with them. And they are still there chilling. Motorcycle people, they like to chill. They can chill. And they're there. Chilling there is necessary. Chilling there, yeah. Masa. So if you are home, yes, make your way to Parks and Gardens, and whilst you are listening to us right here on the Ryde channel. Now today, let's jump to the topic. We are talking about your car and fluids. Your car and fluids. Over here on this channel, we want to give you information that will enhance your motoring experience, because we know, say, if you know a lot about cars, you are either going to cry or your pocket is going to cry,
or both.
In fact, when your pocket is crying, you also the side effect is you cry. So whatever it is, there'll be a crying.
Or crying.
You don't want it to cry. So we bring you information that will enhance your motoring, so that you don't hit your car, you don't cry, you don't get headache and stuff like that. So please make sure you are subscribed. Make sure you are subscribed. Now, the kind of views we get and the kind of subscribers that we have, they match
the flash.
It means a lot of you are watching but you're not subscribed. So please again, subscribe to the Ryde channel so that we can keep doing this. If you are doing this and the response is not coming, sometimes it's heartbreaking, and it's as if we are also throwing money away, which also has that side effect of causing tears. And it can even cause broken homes. We don't want that, God forbid. Yes, hello. So we are talking about your car and fluids. Yes. So Salom, why are fluids? Okay, so let me take this question first. Okay. When we talk about cars, okay, what has fluids got to do with cars?
Okay, so first off, you have to understand that a car is a machine, and it's a mechanical machine to be specific, which means there are a lot of moving parts, which means there will be friction, which means there's so many things that are going on in the car. You see the car and you hear vroom, then it's just going everything. If they show you the number of components that are moving and the things they are doing, you will be shocked. But they have all been cased and covered so beautifully that you only see. So it's these fluids that cause them to move smoothly. Okay, it's these fluids that cause them not to wear out. It's these fluids that protect them. It's these fluids that cool them, pretty much like the human body. You see, we have fluids in us, and we also take in fluids. Without these fluids, you realize that actually you can't last for a period of time. After a period of time, you either have to be hospitalized or you die. You get in the same way. If the car doesn't have these fluids, it's going to die or to go to the shop. Okay, so it'll be like the scenario where they give, like a human being, we have water, we have blood, we have other kinds of enzymes and other things. Yes. Oh, science for I know my enzymes. Yes. Yeah. So you're all there. Okay. In the same way, your car is also made up of so many different components, and now some of these components depend on some kind of fluid. So today we are going to put a lot of attention on the fluids, the different kinds of fluids that your car has, and how you have to take care of them so that your car can keep taking care of you. So Salom, number one. So number one, yes. So for me, growing up, anytime the first, so this leading to the first fluid. Growing up, anytime my parents are going to work or they are moving out of the house, the first thing they let you check is kocheki isune wakano. And they are referring to the coolant, the engine coolant.
Yeah,
that's the first fluid. And I wouldn't say it's the most important, but it's actually one of the important fluids in the car.
Yeah,
and that's the engine coolant. Okay, and you'll be asking, what does this fluid do?
Yeah,
and it's very simple. So it keeps the engine cool. Okay, it keeps the engine cool. It stops it from overheating, and it stops it even at certain scenarios. It stops it from freezing. And that's when you're in the very cold countries.
Yeah, very cold countries.
It stops it from freezing, and when you're in the very hot countries like Ghana, it stops it from overheating.
Okay.
So that's the first fluid we are talking about, the engine coolant.
Okay. So engine coolant, it cools your engine. Yes, combustion engines or any engine that uses petrol, diesel, LPG gas, they all generate a lot of heat. In fact, whatever thing your car is being powered by, some way, somehow,
we generate some sort
the
of
coolant is a common denominator in all manner of different proportion of cars. I mean, when you even talk about EVs, they have coolants that cools the batteries. Yes, I remember when these hybrids came, a lot of people were having issue with their hybrids in Ghana because a lot of mechanics didn't know that the batteries also
to be cool.
Were supposed to be cooled, you know. So anytime you mess up the cooling system, it affects your battery, and battery degradation and all those things sets in, and it's a pain. You know, we had our own stories. Hey, we'll share those ones another day. Yeah, so cooling very, very, very important to your car. And you mentioned that in some places the coolant has antifreeze properties. Okay, but here that we know have that kind of, you know, environment. You know, we are not in that area, in the tropics. So 365 24/7 we have very warm weather here. You know, we don't need, I'm sure we don't need antifreeze.
No,
but what are some of the qualities that a coolant should possess? I mean, you started by talking about water. Okay, and I will quickly say that yes, back in the day it was water, but today water does not belong. Exactly. Why is it that water does not belong in the car? Okay, so in the cooling system of the car.
So this is the reason why water is not supposed to be used. The reason why now we have dedicated coolant is because one is the characteristics. What makes water, what makes coolant. So now you realize that water has a point where it boils and it evaporates. But the coolant boiling point is different from the water's boiling point. And secondly, the coolant has been designed in a way that it doesn't rust. It prevents rust. So it could be in for God knows how long, and you won't have any problem with rust. But water easily can make material rust. So some of these properties that cause, and also the cooling properties, as I said, the boiling point of water and the boiling point of the coolant is different. So what this one can cool, water can cool, the coolant will be able to cool and cool better because of how it's been designed.
In fact, I've actually seen some brands of coolant on the market that they are advertising that they are designed for the tropics. Yes, so it means that they have some added properties.
Exactly.
You know, that works better for So yes, don't go and buy antifreeze.
I beg you.
Here we know
the temperature. You see, the temperature, the boiling point of that one is also different.
Yes,
from the tropics one.
Yes.
So if you go and buy it, you realize
that. So for that one, it has a boiling point and a freezing point.
Exactly.
Yes. So it almost doesn't freeze.
Yes.
Yes. It's a good property to have, but we don't need that.
We don't need it.
We rather need properties that will enhance the cooling.
Exactly.
Because the other thing too is that in those places too, you need a car to come up to temperature, and that also works together with the thermostat, which we'll talk about another time. Today we are not talking about cooling; we are talking about the fluids. So another day that we'll talk about the cooling system. That is when we'll talk about the thermostat. But may catch them mechanic bia ka say yitem most at if you come aka say oh ye bonyo mechanic
run for your life.
Run for your life. All right, guys. All right, so that was a coolant. Yes, an engine coolant. So that is number one. What is the next fluid that we need in the car?
The next fluid we need in the car is the engine oil.
Engine oil.
That's another thing too. Growing up, they make me check all the time. What do you take? Checking oil.
Yeah.
Engine oil.
So the engine oil
very
is
important.
like the blood of your car.
Exactly.
It carries the very life of your car.
Very
yes.
Important. So important.
Okay. So the oil we are saying is a lubricant. What does it do?
Okay. So it's
because lubricant they can never be very bankrupt.
I was actually going to make a face that it lubricates.
Pardon me, guys. Yes. So this one there is on you. Yes.
Okay. So the engine oil it does so many things. Like it is what you could say that killing two birds with one stone. But this is like killing maybe like 3 or 4 birds with one stone. So in the engine, there's a lot of up and down. I mean,
moving parts
again. As my brother said, maybe we'll talk about the engine in itself. So you realize that there's a lot of motion or movement going on. Now, what these things cause, the side effect of some of these things is that it causes friction, and friction causes heat. Okay, so aside the bombing, since let me not scare people. Aside the power being produced inside, right? You will understand when I say bombing. So aside the power that is produced inside, right? There's also heat generated by the metals touching each other. Okay. Now, aside the heat it produces, if there's no lubrication there, what it will do is that it will be making noise. There'll be a big tree. So wear and tear.
Yes.
You understand? It will wear quickly, and before you realize, Charlie, your engine is just in trouble. So what it does is it lubricates the pistons when they are moving. It cools the engine. Okay, people don't know, but it cools the engine.
Yes.
Okay, and it causes it stops wear and tear from happening, even it stops noise, because you know when there's this thing, when we say if two
metal or metal
contact, you see the noise, the screeching noise it makes is very it stops that. Okay, so
awesome.
So that's what it does.
Awesome. So that is engine oil. And when it comes to engine oil, I know you hear best at 3 shoes just to talk about engine oil.
True.
Because the things that people say, people say when the car is, I have a TikTok video that I talked about certain things, and somebody asked me, say, you somebody say, you I'm trying to get behind how the guy posted the question. He said, you build engine before.
And the guy bought.
I don't know why he bought like that.
The guy bought.
No, but if we are we speak facts. Okay, we speak facts from gathering knowledge and also from experience. Okay, so if you think that you know something contrary, all right, and
come just
you get it, just say it, but don't insults and those I not go mind you, Masa. We have experience. Okay, I bought my first motorcycle in 1998, September 1998. Okay, even before that, when I was a kid, if I tell you the volumes of books I read about cars, even before I hit 15 years old, I've read more than 1,000 pages about cars.
Amazing.
Okay, so it's something that we've gathered. Okay, it's something that we've gathered, and I know that some of you can learn. All right, yes, but please, when we say something and you think contrary, you also speak your facts.
That's all.
Okay, speak your facts. Now, somebody is saying that if you the car is getting older, you have to change the oil and use a heavier oil.
Why would the person think that?
I don't know.
Like, what is the?
And this is not the first time I've actually heard people say it face to face, and now somebody mentioned it. I think it was somebody's post, and I went to comment, and the person was, in other words, challenging me. I didn't say anything. I just left it like that. Why would you? Do you understand? Now, sorry, Salom. I'm taking the action away from you.
Just take
look,
it away.
Engines are built according to specification, what they expect the engine to do.
Yeah.
The expected lifespan, how they want their car to respond, how the kind of engine. We have naturally aspirated engines, we have forced induction engines, we have interference engines. There are so many different things, and based on that, the engineers will say, okay, this is the kind of oil that we are supposed to use
for the car.
Okay, now there are reasons. I'm not going to go into details with lubrication. We will talk about that in another show, because like I said, it's very, very broad.
Yeah.
Okay, but I just want to demystify. Okay, please, it doesn't make any engineering sense if you say that as a car is wearing. Engineer has designed the car that it should use this oil. Okay, in fact, if you are doing the right thing, using the proper oil, the car can be driven for many years with very little to almost nothing. Now in Ghana, I'll say that we don't drive cars long enough here.
Yeah, at all. We
don't, because of the road and a whole lot of other things. A lot of times the body and the chassis of the car wear out way before the engine wears out.
That's true.
A lot of times, if somebody's engine dies in Ghana, it means that the person is not maintaining the car well. And some of these things that we are talking about, a car is not even 100, and you are telling me that the car must go to other places. They drive the car over 250,000 miles, not even kilometers, miles.
It's still in
and it's still
shape.
Yes, and if it's a good car, it should be okay.
Shape, yeah.
You get it? You will experience, Masa, for you to come to a place where you change your engine, usually it should be over 500,000. That's 500,000 miles before you. People have driven cars on that. The cars have done 1,000,000 miles on one engine. So if you are doing the proper servicing and you are using the proper fluids and everything that's supposed to be done, a lot of times the things that spoil our engines is not the oil, especially if you are using the correct oil. There are other things like the fuel. In recent time, we've been hearing about fuel, the quality of the fuel, because you see, engine is the petrol is what burns, okay, and we have things like detonation.
Yeah.
You get it? We have things like detonation. If the petrol that you are using is not at the right quality, okay, or grade, should I say the grade, the octane level is not at the level, the burning power of the petrol is not the level that the engine has been designed for. You have things like detonation, which will spoil your engine faster, and that is what recently people have been talking about with Honda Civics, Honda CRVs, and Hyundai Santa Fe's and things. All this spark plug Sika, and also after a few weeks, the whole spark plug is eaten away. These are iridium spark plugs.
Wow.
Iridium spark plugs. Spark plug, when you use it, you shouldn't see a deposit on it like that.
Yeah.
It doesn't get spoiled like that. So these are some of the things. So Charlie, please, we are speaking facts. So if you want to contact, okay, Charlie, that's our WhatsApp line 020-468-4798. If you think that what we are saying, we are giving a puffy, feel free. Call this line right now. We'll put you on air. Then you speak your apokron for us to hear. That is how we do it.
Yeah.
This will not be insult. You do understand? At the end of the day, it not be me they buy your car. No, it not be you they buy my car. You know they buy my fuel for me. You get it? This thing that I'm doing, nobody is paying for me. I'm paying it out of my pocket. Out of something I'm passionate about. So if you think say you know something, come make we talk.
That's all.
Yeah.
You have been invited, cry.
So guys, yes. So we are talking about oil.
Yes, engine oil.
Yes. So I'm telling you, if engineer prescribe that use this engine oil, unless that the engineer has said in the user manual of the car.
Exactly.
That if you drive the car 25,000, change the oil from 10W so and use 20W so.
Fine.
Yes, if the engineer talk fine, that is it. But if the engineer has not said so,
you're not using it. Please
do what the engineer has said, because Master, I can tell you, the cars that we drive in, they are highly engineered, they are highly optimized. I keep saying this. Cars are highly engineered and highly optimized. They are designed, finely tuned to work the way they are. So anytime you want to change, even some of the things you might think that is small, but I'm telling you, it is not there for show. Because you see, this is how the car manufacturing companies they think. Okay, anything that they put on the car, they have to justify it in terms of money. So if the thing is not needed, it will not be on the car.
Oh yeah.
Yes. If the thing is not needed, it won't be on the car. You get it? Because they have to sell the car to you, engineer the car, so it give you the comfort, the reliability, the safety, so many things for them to check off these days. And these days we are very, very picky with cars. If you compare cars today with cars that we drove years ago, you realize that what we have these days, every time some new things. Because if they don't put those new things in the car, you won't buy. You know how much it costs to find a screen? Even sometimes, just a few 2 years ago, we have something that we call a chip shortage. That meant that the microchips, the small electronics things that they put in all the electronic devices, it was short. So there were even instances where some manufacturers have built cars but they couldn't sell because the electronic components needed were not available. So I'm telling you that if the manufacturer or the engineer designs and says this should be there, everything is very well thought of. They won't put it there.
Reason and a purpose.
Exactly. They won't put it there for show. No. That is not what it's about. And yes, I don't remember. Intermediate honest manual. No, yes. Some people say, as for me, I don't read honest manual, and they believe that it's a bargain right. And they may colo, may slow. I'm a kind cover to cover because my car is a lot of money. Okay, and then car, even the average car can buy a house.
Oh yeah.
The average. I always say average. The lowest car can buy a house. Okay, yes, and like I said, it's highly believed that apart from the house, the next thing that most families spend the most money on is their car. And unfortunately, the car, as you they use them more, you they spend more money. You know, they like the house. The house too they chop money, but I know they chop as much money as a car on a day-to-day basis. Massa, top petrol now we change shock absorbers, not links, especially in Ghana. Kana say Massa, it is you. Massa, me when I'm driving rough road, I drive like tortoise, and people come behind me, they will blow in their horn. Pay. Massa, you don't buy me shock. You know they buy me shock. So you are what bear mean take right.
You know, yesterday because of the rains yesterday, right? It washed up a lot of untarred roads, especially in communities that they have tarred roads. So I had to take a friend to a place. Okay, and I kid you not, if you see the place, people are living there, so they don't have a choice but to use that road. It's not even a road. The way the road make
the people will hustle for this country side. So that is lubricant, lubricant, very, very important. And please, I'm going to add this again. Please make sure that even when you are sticking to the right recommended grade of lubricant for your car, make sure you are buying from a reputable vendor, because I mean some of the things we have are fake. Okay, please, if you value your car, make sure that when it comes to oil changes, coolant flashes and stuff, you go to spare the expense, because if you don't control and spend it in the right way, you end up causing damage to your car that will be much more expensive. Okay,
sure.
So please let's take note of these things. They say what, penny wise pound foolish.
Exactly.
Please don't be penny wise and pound foolish when it comes to your car. It's an investment. Okay, people say the car is not an investment. It depends on what car you chose to buy, how you keep it. It can be an investment. I've bought cars before, I sold and made profits on it. So it depends on what car you buy. And even if you don't want to see it that way. Yes, it's a liability, fine, but you want to derive a certain return on that expense.
It should serve a purpose.
Serve a purpose. So you want it at least to get that, and it can only do that if you are also taking care of it. That's why we call it car. Car. When you buy a car, it like you born baby.
I tell you.
Yeah, the way baby go chop
it, you have to.
baby go hospital. Exactly. You go do all those things. All right. So we've spoken about the coolant. We've spoken about lubricant. Is there anything you want to add with the coolant, with the lubrication thing?
The engine oil.
Yeah.
I think I've said it all. It's protected. That means it cools it, it protects it, it cleans it. Okay, it cleans it and it lubricates it. So that's
perfect.
Yes.
Now, let me just chip in this. Okay, so which one be the sludge?
The sludge. So you see, the thing is that, as we said, as it's a moving thing, there will be particles. You know, it's not. I don't know how to put it, but there will be particles. There will be things that will come in from time to time because it takes a lot of things to go. So as the oil is doing all the job, it's cleaning it. That's why I say it cleans it. So as it's cleaning it, you realize that it picks some things that are not supposed to be there, and it collects it
at some place. I tick. I say paint a CBS and I say
that's what I'm going to say. I said palm oil. When it's a palm oil, sometimes you can see that at the top it is very fluid, but down there is kick.
Yeah.
So
and the reason why I ask this question is that a lot of new cars have issues with sludge buildup. You know, okay, so let me just get technical a little bit. So when it comes to cars, there's something called valves. The valves are usually at the top of the engine, and they open to let air in, air and fuel in, and they also open to let the exhaust fumes go out of the engine. Okay, now there are two main types. We have direct injection. That is, when we talk about injection, we're talking about how fuel goes into the places where it's supposed to burn. Okay, so when we have port injection, which happens in one place and the air brings it into the cylinders. Then we have direct injection, which is it goes straight into where it's supposed to burn. Now, they are all very good systems. Okay, now the direct injection is designed to reduce to increase fuel economy and also increase power. Okay, yes, port injection also has its own. It's an older system, you know. Yes, but it's also very effective. Now, the good thing about port injection is that you have fuel, because the fuel is being injected into the port. When it is coming into the engine, it passes around the valves and it cleans the excess oil and other things from the back of the valves, you know, and they go into the cylinders, and the cylinders burns them off. But the direct injection, it happens inside the cylinders, so it doesn't have the ability of washing the back of the piston. So with time, carbon builds up, and when the carbon builds up and it breaks, it gets mixed with the oil, and it gets, you know, mixed up in the engine. Usually they will go to the crankcase, the lower part of the engine, and it builds up, and it causes havoc to a lot of new engines. That's why I brought this up. So please again, if you have a car with a direct injection, number one, that is why very high quality fuel is very important. And that's a video I did. The other guy came to make that comment. Very important that your fuel use high quality fuel. And we've also talked about this, that sometimes you might have to add some additives, because the additives have cleaning agents, we call detergents, additivization. You know, some of the OMCs do a certain level of these additives, you know, but usually if you want very effective, you might have to. And we've talked about some of these GLM products and things, you know, liquid moly and things, they are all on the market, and these things are very important that woman out the beer can. Yes, and sometimes too you have to ask your mechanic to do a very thorough check. You know, they some of them have boroscope, which is a kind of camera that can go through holes and corners, and they can check inside and see what's going on. If you have some of these sludge builds up, some engines are notorious okay, for some of these build-ups, and that will mean that you have to change your engine oil quickly. In fact, some people say that even in Ghana, if you are driving, you have to change your engine oil half. I mean, this one is not technical, so this one is not yes. I mean, changing, if as for engine oil, you can even decide that every day you change your engine oil. There's no disadvantage if you can afford it. Yes, and whoever is doing it correctly. You shouldn't have a problem. Yes, but it doesn't make sense. But yes, if you can change it much more often. Some people, anytime they go for long distances, they will change. They will not stick to the the duration, the normal accepted duration. They might change it earlier or something like that. Yeah, but the most important point is that change it on time. Change it on time. Okay. Sometimes even some of the new cars, they've programmed it into the infotainment system, so it alerts you. Okay. Then there's this thing where at certain mileages, I realized this with one of the cars we have, which is a Honda Civic. When that car was released, they realized that they have a certain problem with the engine, because a forced induction, high compression engine. A lot of times, if you don't drive it long enough and you park it, okay, it doesn't get warm enough, so the oil just goes goes around the engine, the cylinder walls, and it settles in the engine, and the fuel, some of the fuel does not burn properly, and it goes and it contaminates the oil, so the properties of the oil starts breaking down, and it causes the engine to wear out prematurely. So they actually issued a recall, and I think what they did was to program it into the schedule system. So I realized that when the car came, the oil changes were very, 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 very frequent. The intervals were very short, but later on the intervals kept growing and growing and growing because of some of these issues. And I think that you have to be careful, and these are some of the things. When a car is telling you that change oil, then you say you won't change it, massa engineer why we're programming so what's your problem? Then you have no business even driving a car. Okay, all right, so we've had enough about lubricant. You see with the thing at the talk, lubricants, Charlie Massa, they take a lot of there are a whole lot of things to it. A whole lot of things to it. Okay. Yes, and that is even underscores the point that you shouldn't take it for granted. So we've talked about coolant, we've talked about lubricants. Engine oil. What else? Yes.
You keep saying engine oil. Engine oil. It's like lubricant, but there are other lubricants.
Yes, other lubricants. Yes. All right.
Okay. So the next one that we are going to look at is the power steering fluid.
Power steering fluid. Yeah. Which one be the power steering?
So you see, the car that most of the cars you're driving now, it's the steering system. Okay, it needs some sort of fluid to make it smooth because of how the system works. So without the fluid, you realize that turning the car becomes very, very difficult. Okay, and it is this fluid in that mechanism that makes it very easy for you to turn the steering wheel. So when you are turning, when you say, "Hey, car, you have to understand it's the power steering fluid that's causing that.
So do we bragging? Charlie, me can it's
the power steering fluid that's doing that, and that's most of the times what we call the ETFs.
ATF. Okay, all right. So power steering fluid. Let's throw down. Yes.
So the next one is the brake fluids. You see, braking is as important, if not more important, than moving the car. That's what people don't understand. Most of the accidents that happen, Charlie, more of them is the brake fail some at a point. Understanding? So the brake fluid is very important. That's what helps the mechanisms. They're moving, in the brake system there are a lot of movement too. When you step on the brake pedal for it to move and go and do whatever it's supposed to do for the brakes to hold, there are lots of things going up and down there. So the brake fluid is also very important. You need that in your car.
Okay.
The brake
fluid.
Yeah.
And no, so no one's awesome.
Yeah.
So I've shared this story several times.
Exactly.
Where I went to, my mechanic, and yes. So he worked on the brake and he was supposed to, top up the fluid. I mean, what he did, he lost a lot of fluid. So yes. And I've always been telling him that, look, I don't compromise with the vendors that I buy, and even apart from the vendors, you have to buy from the correct place, because I know that some of the people have fake products they use, and I kept telling him, and yes, but he himself, Charlie, he felt that he was an opportunity to disprove me. So he went to buy some brand B of engine oil. When I came, he showed it to me. I told him, look, Charlie, brake fluid,
and I'm sure he was trying to save you money.
I mean, he meant well. He's a good guy, very honest guy. There's not a lot of mechanics that did that level, Then started driving the thing. Then the brake just kept, going inside. Now it has to travel long before it does its job. It stops the car longer than it was before, So I knew that I knew what the culprit was. So the next I babied it to the house. The next morning I siphoned the brake fluid out, and I bought what I usually buy, in the correct grade. So the brake fluid also, there are different grades or different types. Okay, they'll say dot so and so dot so. Please, when the engineers have engineered it, so when they tell you dot 4, even below that there are some standards. They'll tell you decron 4 and this and that. Please, these are very important things. If you have a very reliable, correct mechanic, they will do these things for you. But you and I know that you won't get that. You won't get that, especially those emergency situations where you have to do some of these things yourself. Please check and check again, because it will affect your car. Okay, wrong brake fluid can mess up your whole brake system. Because it's going to eat all the seals, and there are several seals in the system, and you will break the best at leak. And when a brake leaks, it's a system that uses pressure. Okay, so when it leaks, it's brake failure. Okay, then the other thing too is the brake fluid itself is hygroscopic, right? Meaning that it attracts water.
Yeah, it
attracts water. That's one of its properties. So if it attracts more water than it's supposed to, it's going to, and there's always, once there's pressure, there's heat.
Yeah,
it's a byproduct. And once there's too much of it, it starts your brake fluid starts boiling.
Yeah.
Yes, sometimes it does boil. Especially when you are traveling and you are speeding and you are braking, speeding, and those of you who even normal everyday ride,
heavy-footed people,
Charlie. When you do that, yes,
the brakes,
and immediately it starts boiling. It will fail. The brakes will fail, and you don't want that. So the race cars, they don't use the same brake fluid you put in your car.
The system is even slightly different.
Yes. So yes, depending on the kind of race car, yes, but they don't use a normal brake fluid we use. Yes, if you want to spare your life, you use a race standard brake fluid. Okay, so brake fluid, very, very important. So that's 4, right?
Yes, that's
4. But that's not the last.
Yeah, we've talked about
coolant,
engine oil, power steering oil fluid, and the brake fluid. And the next one I want us to talk about is the transmission fluid.
Transmission.
Yes.
Transmission.
The transmission is basically what is the middleman between the engine that produces the power and the wheels that use the power. Okay, so without that middleman, your car won't. It's I don't know how your car would move.
Okay,
because you see, when the way the engine is designed, it could just have one rev. So as soon as they turn it on, it could just go, then it's just there.
Yeah,
or it could go and it's just there.
Yeah.
So it's the transmission that coordinates the power you want at that point in time, or how fast and how it should distribute the power and all those things. Is the transmission that does all those things.
Okay.
And there is a fluid for that, and that fluid is what causes that smooth operation. All the smooth operation that your car has, it is the transmission.
Okay.
So having issues with that, you realize that your car might start jerking, the gear might not even go, or you might be in one gear, like you start the engine and it's in just one gear. It's not able to go through all the gears.
Yeah.
Without, if the transmission oil or the transmission fluid is very important.
Okay.
It's very important for what it does for your car.
Awesome. So yes, if for any reason your car loses transmission fluid, you have to replace it right away.
Exactly.
Or the car won't work well, and moreover, you can lose your transmission.
You can lose
some cars. I didn't know this. Okay. And I went to Abosokai, and I have quite a number of friends there, and we're just chatting about the engine. And told me that then I wanted them to reduce the price of the engine. So I said, then why don't you Abosokai, normally the engines come with gearboxes, then I told them that so why don't they remove the gearbox and sell it to me cheaper? And they said that for that particular car, the gearbox no they spoil, so nobody they buy. You get it?
So they're just selling everything together.
Yes, but there are some cars, and they mentioned a couple of cars. There are some cars, the gearbox is even more expensive than the engine. Into no the bape no me gearbox in that
because they don't actually get somebody to buy a pair.
Yeah, because it's a car's weak point. Is the weak point of that particular car. So it's something that people ask for very often, and it's very, very pricey. So that is the sweet spot of that particular engine deal. Wow. So they would rather sell the engine to you cheap and keep the gearbox. But the other reliable ones there, because it's going to become it's going to become garbage for them after a while. So that underscores how important some of these conversations that we are having are. Gearbox is or the transmission, if I use the proper word, transmission is very, very important. And like you said, we call it gearbox because it has gears inside, and the gears usually are metal on metal, and sometimes there are some plastic components inside there, and they are moving around, and if there's no oil, massa, it will spoil.
I can think of like a million ways that it, because that one.
Yeah, when we're talking about lubrication or engine oil, we didn't mention that the oil breaks down with use.
Oh, okay. So it's just like even
that's why we have to change the oil.
Yeah, that's why you have to change the oil. It's just like even cooking at home. Once you pour the oil fresh, you use it. Yes, you can reuse it, but I realize that after maybe like 2-3 times of using it, the oil breaks down, like the property changes, and it's either it's not healthy to eat or it doesn't do what it's supposed to. There's so many things. I mean, carbon, because you have to understand that it's burning and you are putting particles inside. That's the food, and there will be small particles that fall off because you are probably using flour or you're using some spices, whatever it is. So it will have reactions, and after some time it breaks down. In the same way, when it's going around, things are hitting things, heat. A lot of things are going. It's being wind together like so fast, like a lot of things happen. So after some time it breaks down, after some time it loses its properties from time to time. Sometimes it might take a while. Sometimes to Charlie it might not take that long a while, then you have to change it. So it breaks down. That's true.
All right, so that is transmission fluid.
That's a transmission fluid.
So from transmission fluid, what else can we talk about?
So it's not all cars that have this, but some cars have it, and that's the differential. Okay. So for most rear wheel drives or 4-wheel drives, they have something at the back called a differential, and I don't know if I should go into what it does, but then basically it moves the power from the transmission from the front to the back wheels. Okay, so that's basically what it does.
It is.
Exactly. So for that component, it has its oil that helps it do what it's supposed to do. So the fluid in the differential is also very important.
Yeah. All right. Also
very important.
Yeah.
And there's one more.
Yes.
This one there, you won't get me on this one.
Yes.
And it is the windscreen
washer fluid.
The fluid.
Awesome.
That's also very. It looks like it's not, but it's very important.
Very important. If you are driving in the rain, or you are driving and some bed did you dirty, and you try to wipe it, and the whole whiskey became wet
because there's no water so there's no fluid in it. That's why you see that Jesus is Lord.
Yes, yes, very, very, very important. I mean, that is one particular scenario that can be terrible.
Let's that Charlie. Nah.
You know, and a lot of times, a lot of people we just tend to put water inside. Yeah, we just want to put water. You see him.
I remember the time we bought the car I'm using right now. They put the proper
coolant.
The truth.
Washer.
The truth of the matter, like what you are saying. Most Ghanaians, I'm even sure people don't even know they have a special fluid.
Yeah. Oh yeah. A lot of people don't know.
I'm sure, but they put that special fluid in it. Okay, and I was amazed. The way that it wipes it like clean, and I don't know how they did it. You see, that's the point. They designed it. They know what they are doing, but it is not what is it called? Sunlight, or it's not detergent or whatever it is that they put inside. But you see that it's a bit foamy. And it is just wiping the thing. It wipes it so clean. Okay.
And apart from wiping it clean, the other thing that it does.
So I was going to even this one I even experienced it in the course of last week, or let's say this week. The week is not last week. So you realize that you use normal water and it wipes, but it leaves some sort of
smudges and traces.
Traces, yeah, exactly. It leaves some sort of traces on your screen. So when you wipe it, wipe your tire. It won't go because of the property. You see, that's what I was saying. So for that one, it is like a bit soapy. I don't know what they are. I even tried,
it's specially formulated.
Exactly. I even tried formulating mine, and I went to put sunlight, the liquid one. So I mixed it. Before I poured it in, and I regretted. So please don't try that at home. I regretted bad. So I was just praying for the water. So I was just wasting at the point. I was wasting it so that I could just put normal water in at that point. So there's a special fluid. I think the problem at a point was getting it was a bit difficult.
Yeah, but now a lot of the vendors have
it now.
And I think that one of the reasons why some vendors might not have is because when they put them on the shelf, nobody buys
it, and that's the problem.
But please, they are very, very important. And we see one thing is that it also protects the wiper itself.
Exactly.
Okay, and protects your windscreen. If any car that has seen a bit of action, yes, just look at the windscreen. Even when it is very, very clean, you see tiny microscopic streaks on it.
Exactly.
Where is that coming from? It's the wear that the wipers cause to.
We should understand that we are in an environment where there's dust everywhere. It is now you can't do anything about it. There's dust everywhere, and when you are driving, it is hitting your windscreen, and some deposits themselves there. Now, when you mix with water, it's just like you going to take sand, put sand in the water, and pour it on your car. And you are asking.
That is why I don't like those boys who wipe. I hate it.
We don't even know the water they are using.
It's actually dirty water they are using to clean your.
You understand?
I told them no.
Particles.
If you want money, ask for money. If I have, I'll give you.
If I
don't touch my windscreen, and I always fight with them. Yeah, and then force me pentokwa, but please, I can't sit down for them to spoil my thing. Oh, now I can.
Because you see, the sand, they are particles. They have a special way they are formed that God formed them, and they are hard. Believe it or not. So imagine the wiper carrying that and scratching it on your windscreen. It's not safe.
And these days, some of the high quality, windscreen washer fluids are even manufactured with nano something in it. So sometimes they actually repel water.
Okay.
I remember I used to have a car. When it came, they coated the windscreen with something. I don't know exactly what, but when it came for months, when any liquid goes on the windscreen, it starts beading. It starts beading and dripping off. So even before the wiper does its thing, most of it is off. There. So these are some of the things. I know there are ceramic, we call it ceramic shield, waxing, or when you polish your car, some of them are like that. They have those properties. When the water goes on, it just beads off.
Exactly.
Normally when you spray water on a car, it tends to want to cling on the car, but this one breaks that kind of thing, and it just beats off. And for months it was on it, but I think it wears out, so with time it will wear out. And I know I've seen certain adverts of some of these products from some vendors that they've stated that it has these kinds of qualities. And I think that if you love your car, you don't want to spend a lot of money. Yes, you want to invest into some of these, but the water there, the time pass. The time pass. Yes, you can even conjecture or conspiracy, theories that say that the manufacturers intentionally do these things so that some people will get some business to do and make some money. Yes, it's possible. Me and you were not there, but it's possible. But that doesn't mean that you will also be careless and you lose your car.
But the thing is, even at the end of the day, they've done it. If it is a way to make money, they've already done it. Yeah. So if you go against it, who will suffer? You will
suffer.
Exactly.
Because you don't know where they are to go and sue them.
Exactly. So even if you sue them, it's their product.
Even if you get them to sue over break.
No, how will you sue? It's their product. They are telling you to buy. They didn't put a gun to your head to buy it.
Yeah.
You understand? So at the end of the day, so you have to just comply. So that you enjoy.
Yeah.
I mean, you may think that you've gotten away with some of these things till you get caught. Then you realize that, oh no, all this while I was actually setting myself up for wahala. So
all right. Salam. Yeah, so anything else you want to add to the discussion?
So far, I mean, it's not so far. These are the fluids that run the car.
Yes.
Okay, and these are the fluids you have to keep your eyes on. And another very important fluid, I almost forgot this one. You actually forgot it yourself. It's a fuel.
Charlie. And the fuel, like if I forgot it, my namesake Eddie Corte will kill me because he started sending me questions. Let me see this question. Let me see if I can. Yes, Mr. Corte. Yes. So some of these questions we've already answered in a previous show that we talked about fuel. Another time we'll talk about fuel. So he's asking if I can recommend particular fuel on the market. That is, will I go with Goil, Shell, or Total? If rating which yes. I think that these are the top OMCs. And they take their business very seriously. Yes. So to 70% you can go with these people. But whilst you are there also, normally there are grades to the fuel and you want to buy the ones with the high grades. But they can only sell you what they have. Exactly. They can only sell you what they have. So if they don't have, that is it. Total has their Excellium something. Yes. Goil also has theirs. So yes,
something XP.
Yes. Yeah. So when you go, tell them that you want the high octane level fuel. Now, when it comes to this fuel thing, that's another reason why you should be reading your user manual, because sometimes they will say this kind of fuel recommended.
Yes.
Okay, and sometimes they'll say this kind of fuel required. Okay, now this is very important information. That small word, those two words, brofo there, it's very important. Now when it says recommended, okay, when it says recommended, it means that the kind of car that you have is designed to use this particular kind of fuel and that alone. Okay, so if it says that you have to use high octane fuel, that is what is required. It means that always you have to buy high octane. Okay, when it says high octane fuel recommended, it means that for best performance use that octane. But in the absence you can use other types. Okay, so please, this is very, very, very important. Notes. Okay, these days too, I think JP oil also, their fuel, they have one they call, I think, Supreme or something like that.
That's a J Supreme.
Yeah, J Supreme. Yeah.
And even price wise, it's good.
It's
good.
Okay.
I mean, their J Supreme is equivalent to what some other OMCs are selling for normal fuel.
Oh, okay. And there are several people I know who use high performance cars which require high performance fuel, and they always buy their fuel from so JP. Probably JP is doing something right, and as much as possible I'll say okay, go to JP. If you don't have JP, you can go to the others, but make sure you buy the high octane, which usually is quite, the gap between that and the is quite a bit, so people don't buy. But that said, which we said in the show where we talked about fuel, also you can consider buying additives and adding to your fuel.
That's very important.
Yes, because even for the big OMCs, a lot of the activities center around the capital cities, and once you are out of town to some village where they are using galgal, the one that they pump the fuel.
you just see it in the kind of
discourage you. So when you are traveling, please, I'm telling you, fill your car full with the highest quality fuel.
Jerry cans.
Jerry cans, and yes. Then, if possible, buy some additives and put in the car, so that when for that unplanned event of you having to fuel up at some lower quality fuel place, you can add to increase the octane level of your this thing, and also the detergent properties of the fuel, so that you can preserve that very prized possession, which is your car. Yes, quality engine oil, similar things. The top OMCs, and you have to buy from their reputable shops, because there are some that are in the correct container and everything, but it's fake. So please let us note these things. And yes, so fuel, very very important. When it comes to diesel also, then there is that kind of categorization where they say category, where they say the Euro standards, or fuel standards. So in Ghana, we are supposed to be Euro 4, but some people will tell you that it's more like Euro 2. Yes, so if you buy a car from the States, those cars are using Euro 6 and Euro 7 and things. Now all they buy now the Euro 2 go. That's why some of us are suffering. That's why some of us are suffering. So in order to preserve your car, get the performance that you need, you have to add some of these things, to boost the quality, so that it will save the life of your Euro 6, whatever engine. Even if you can't buy it every day, number one, buy from quality places, occasionally add some of these things to clean the system and also to enhance whatever your car is doing. And I'm sure to a certain extent it will help. Yes. And we also have to lobby, talk about these things, so that the government will increase the quality of our fuel. You too oil Ghana, so why can't we, have high quality fuel?
Refineries that can actually refine these crude oils.
Santor oil people, you are there. We refining. We want high fuel, high grade fuel. Exactly. Euro 6 nibi. And it will allow the importers, to import, because there are some dealers, they don't. Some of the dealers want to be on the safe side, so they don't import. When they are importing models, they import models with engines that can handle our fuel. So so if you want the turbo charged cars and all those things, they won't. You won't find them with a lot of dealers.
So
who
when we went to the VW event, the lunch, the Virtus lunch, I actually asked someone who works with VW, now why is it that they are not adding the
turbocharging?
No, this car, the Golf, yes. I asked them why not adding the Golf to the lineup, and that's basically what she said. She was like, no, it's the engine,
the Golf, the Touareg, yes,
this one. She was like,
when you go to Kenya, they have Euro 6, so they get Touareg, and a few more models, Yes, but we don't get that because of fuel level. Yes,
I was told you.
I've actually, there was one time they invited me for a trip, and that was one of the information they shared, that in fact they declined to enter Nigeria because of the fuel. Yes. They refused to sell their cars. VW refused to sell cars in Nigeria because of fuel quality. Yes, they did. They said it. Because there was one gentleman, a friend of mine, who was, and he said, but why is it that Nigeria is a bigger market? and we have a very good history with VW, because they actually used to assemble VW Beetles in Nigeria back in the day. You know, and they were like, so why is it that we don't have an assembly plant and Ghana has an assembly? And they said it, your fuel level, we don't even know where to start to grade it. You know, until you can lobby your government to increase or improve the standards of your fuel quality.
And funny enough, they have more oil than we do.
Yes, and you know the reason. You know, Volkswagen has had issues with emissions before.
Yeah.
And they are fighting hard to shift from that image, you know, the Dieselgate image. So it's very, very important.
So they are taking it very personal.
And European manufacturers especially don't joke with emissions. They don't joke with emissions. Very, very important. All right, guys. So it has been very, very interesting show. Even after the show, if you want to interact with us, you can do so on 020-468-4798. 020-468-4798. You can send us voice notes, you can send us texts, and there's a WhatsApp group actually on this line, and you can join as well. And and you can ask questions, and some of the questions will also move us to plan shows around certain topics that we can talk about, which will enhance your motoring. Very, very important. Don't also forget to subscribe to Selam's YouTube page, RPMGA. Just go to YouTube, search for RPMGA and subscribe. Also make sure you are subscribed to this channel, which is the Ryde channel. We'll make sure we sort a few other issues out so that next week we can have TikTok and Facebook back up as well. Go to our website, www.ridechannel.com. Read all the interesting stories. We are also on all social media platforms, Ryde channel as well as RPMGH. Yes, you can also communicate with us through all those platforms, and I'm sure that together we can be doing something great. All right, guys. So thank you, and bye for now.
Revving engines, burning rubber, here we go. Right channel, where the passion starts to flow. Auto news,